evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
All right. Welcome. Please confirm if you can see my screen as we admit candidates coming in for the next 10 minutes. Kindly confirm if you can see my screen. Hello? Can you see my screen? Hello everyone, can you people see my screen?
Yes, I can see it here.
Okay. I just want to confirm if you can see my screen. All right, good evening, everybody. You can hear me perfectly.
Yes.
All right, please, you can hear me perfectly. Unmute your mic and say yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Mute your mic as once you have done with that. Okay, thank you very much for coming again. All right, we've given 5 minutes. 5 minutes for those that still joining the class. Let me admit some few more people. Our resource person is in the house, and you are welcome back to this cybersecurity session B, which happens to be the second session for this our cybersecurity awareness program. As we've been told 3 days ago, we are still on our awareness program. The awareness program is coming up today again, and it will be coming up also on Sunday for the last awareness training. Then we'll move on to the training section, and then we'll move on to the mentorship per se. So as at now, today is the second session, and our resource person is available to take us through. Remember that this section is actually focusing on cybersecurity, the practical approach. So we want to take us to the next level. The last session focused on introduction to cybersecurity. For this section, shall be focusing on another concept in cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity, the practical approach. Without wasting much of our time, this is 8:37. I'm going to invite our resource person for tonight's session on cybersecurity awareness training, session B. I'm inviting no other person other than Engineer Mansour Qasim, all the way from Kaduna. Engineer Mansour Qasim is a cybersecurity professional, and he happens to be the head IT infrastructure, Kaduna Electric. Everybody join me in welcoming Engineer Qasim Mansour, who shall be taking us through the session for tonight. Engineer Qasim, if you are there, please, over to you for tonight's session. Please and please, let us maintain perfect decorum. I really enjoyed this platform for maturity, for concentration, and for our support. The maturity we have displayed 3 days ago is highly interesting and is highly appreciated. I want us to display the same maturity throughout the session. Please mute your mic and ensure you pay attention. We will try to make a provision for the recording of this session, as we have mentioned on the platform, only for those that signify and they are in attendance throughout the program. We will monitor from the beginning to the end to ensure that you are really due to have the record session of these proceedings. So without wasting much of our time, this is 8:40. I'm calling on Engineer Qasim to please come in and let us have your presentation. The topic, once again, is cybersecurity, the practical approach. Thank you very much, Engineer Qasim. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, House. Thank you for having me. Just like I've been introduced, Mansour Kazim. I'm here to take us through cybersecurity, the practical approach. I'll be sharing my screen in a moment. Okay. 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 Can you all see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
All right. I'll start by asking this question: why cybersecurity? Why do we need to be cyber secure? And the answers to this question are not far away from us. They are very close to us. In fact, one of the reasons is what we are currently doing. We are all on the internet. We are in the cyberspace. Now, Statista is a global research platform, and they have a lot of reports. So one of such reports is what you can all see on the screen. The number of internet users worldwide, according to them, is 5.3 billions. 5.3 billions are actually using the internet as we speak. This report was as October 2023, that is last year. And of this 5.3 billion, we have 4.95 of them, of us, who are social media users. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, name it, TikTok, and whatever. 4.9 people are actually using those social media platforms currently. And to the right, you see the trend of internet users over a period of time from 2005 to 2022. So as of 2022, the figure climbed to 5.3 billion users. Now, we have countries with highest internet users, and it's not a chance that Nigeria actually comes as part of the first 10 or the highest first 10 countries where internet is being used. So this is also in billion. This is in million. Sorry. So we have over 122.5 million people in Nigeria, and if you look at the screen, you see that China top, followed by India, United States, Indonesia, Brazil, Russia. So Nigeria is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nigeria is on the 7th position, internet users. Now, this is another thing. We've seen the global number of users. We've seen the global number of internet users as well as social media users. And we've seen that our dear country, Nigeria, is part of the first 7 or first 10 countries with the highest number of internet users. Now, just like we have crime in the physical space, we also have crime in the cyberspace. And if you look at what I have just displayed, you see the rate of cybercrime across the world. This is as of 2021. Phishing, smishing. Phishing is defined by the means or the means through which someone is lured away from either comfort zone into a vulnerable stage or platform where his or information can be obtained. Sensitive information can be obtained from such a person. So phishing is voice over internet, where someone can be called. You are asked some informations that are personal to you with the aim of using them against you, maybe to commit crime or to obtain some financial gain from you. Then smishing is through SMS. So all these are terminologies. You get to know them in detail as by the time you register for the actual training. Now, this is just to show us the level of cybercrime in the current world that we live in. Meaning, as people are very careful, people are being careful in the physical world, we also need to be careful in the cyberspace. Now, phishing, like we saw in the previous slide, which top the number of, the list of cyber crimes in the world, you see that we have different types of phishing, and it is even the most common attack on the internet. Phishing via email. You see, this takes about 54% of the entire crime in the cyberspace. This will, of course, get to know more of it in the training. Now, we've seen why there needs to be cybersecurity. The reason is, day in, day out, we are always on the internet. Day in, day out, crimes are being committed on the internet. Explained in the previous first session, but just to brush through some things. Now, when we say security, it does not mean there is no threat. It doesn't mean there is no threat. But what it means is, how are you able to manage risk? Now, let me explain some things. When you say there is a threat means there is an existing vulnerability or a loophole in a system, you understand, that can be exploited. Now, anything or any person that aims to or that can exploit a vulnerability is a threat. Anything or any person that can exploit a vulnerability is a threat. Now, vulnerability is a weakness. Now, a risk will now occur when there is probability that an existing vulnerability can be exploited by someone. It becomes a risk. When the probability is high, we say the risk is high. When it is low, we say the risk is low. So, and it is not just that somebody can exploit an existing vulnerability. Should that person exploit the vulnerability, it will have high impact negatively on the individual or an organization or a country, you understand, that is being attacked. So it means there is a risk. Now, to define cybersecurity, of course, cybersecurity professionals usually look at some terminologies which we've been taking through: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I'll just run through this so that we can quickly go to where we are going tonight. Of course, confidentiality has to do with permitting authorized access to information. You understand? Accessing something, but you can't just access it if you are not permitted. So this is necessary to protect an information or information system. Now, there's something called PII. That is your personally identifiable information. It's called PII. We have PHI, that is personal health information. In advanced countries, there are laws guiding these particular informations. You can't just go to any place and say you want to obtain somebody's information. You understand? So any information that can be used to distinguish or trace an individual's identity, like your NIN, BVN, your biometric record, date of birth, your mother's maiden name, all those things can be used to trace you. You understand? Then also any other information that is linked or linkable to an individual, medical record, your educational record, your financial record. Just recently, we had an election lawsuit regarding who won and who did not win. We'll see that the president had a lot of issues. People were campaigning against him, or even after the election, were using some things against him. One of such is his educational qualification, and they approached the institution where he claimed to have gone to. Now, we all know that the institution had to take permission from him before such information could be given to the public, because this is a personally identifiable information. It is a confidential information. You need the express authorization of the owner to be able to release that, or a court order. So the institution had to rely on this before they could release such information. So this is an information that is linkable to an individual and has to be confidential. Now, when you say confidentiality. You talk of either something is classified or sensitive. If it is classified, it has to do with maybe the state. You understand? The state of that, I mean, the level of that particular information. That is the information that has been determined to require protection against unauthorized disclosure. For instance, if a military operation is going on somewhere and the higher authority in the military sends a signal to the people in the field, it is expected that this is a classified information. You and I, that are not military personnel, should not even have access to it. The public should not have access to it. You understand? So this is a classified information. So if it gets its way into the public domain, then whoever leaks such information will be subjected to punishment. Also, sensitive information. It's a measure of the importance attached to data by its owner. So it is you that determines whether an information is sensitive or not. So the level of importance you attach to that information determines its level of sensitivity. Now, when we say integrity, it's actually the property of information, where it is recorded, it is used, it is maintained. It has to be in its completeness. It must be accurate. It must be consistent. Consistency in the sense that, for instance, let's take our account balance in the bank. If, as at this morning, your account balance is, say, 300 naira, and you've not had any transaction, whether credit or debit, when you are checking that account balance in the evening, it should remain 300 naira. If something happened, maybe you got 320 naira or 280 naira, and you did not do any transaction, it means the information is not consistent. There is no integrity. So you begin to probe what happened. Why has there been a deduction in my account balance? Where has there been an increment in my account balance, even though I have not done any transaction? So these are integrity. And then when you say integrity, it measures the degree to which something is whole, it is complete, or how consistent or correct that thing is. Now, there is data integrity, there is a system integrity. Now, data integrity tries to ensure that data has not been altered, it remains in its correct form, there is no loss in data, there has not been any error, it has not been misused, and the likes. Integrity has to look at the state of a system at a particular point in time. For instance, if as at this time, as at this night, we are all using our system, those are using their mobile phones, and we are able to determine the state of our system as at that time. It doesn't have any virus in it, it is not misbehaving, the system is behaving accurately. We take that as the baseline of our system. If by tomorrow we wake up and we decide to do something on the system, the first thing we want to say is that the system remained the way we left it as at this night when we used it. So that is the baseline. That shows that there is integrity in that system. But the moment you start seeing some malfunctioning in your system, maybe without you using the mouse, you saw that the cursor started moving around, or so it started opening some pages, some applications, then you begin to question the integrity of that system. So it means the system does not have an integrity. Now, availability, it's usually defined as timely and reliable access to information. You need an you want to be able to have access to it anywhere you want, and you as the authorized user, you should be able to have access to it. For instance, maybe you need to check your email, or you need to check your Facebook account, or you need to check your Twitter account. You are able to log in as the authorized user, as the original and the actual owner. So that is availability. But the moment you are not able to log into your email, or you try to open your WhatsApp and you discover that you do not have access to some of the informations that you used to have access to, then it shows that you have been denied access to that platform. So availability becomes a problem. Now, availability usually have, so the common attacks that we usually have with regards to availability are actually like ransomware. Ransomware is a situation where your system or your becomes encrypted. You cannot, you don't have access to your files anymore. The moment you open it, it just opens some jargon for you. And then you see a message telling you that the system has been attacked. You need to pay so amount of money to get it decrypted for you. Oftentimes, when you pay that money, you don't get back your data. Also, denial of service, where you logged in to your maybe Facebook page and it's telling you wrong password. You checked again. This is the last password I used. You tried again, it's telling you wrong password. And you eventually discovered, maybe people started calling you, oh, they are posting so thing on your Facebook page or on your Twitter page, and you discover you are not the one. You've been denied access. So that is a kind of denial of service. You understand? So all of these are actually detrimental to availability. So now, having looked at the three triad of cybersecurity, we can conveniently say that cybersecurity is the protection of information and information systems against unauthorized access, unauthorized use, unauthorized disclosure, unauthorized disruption, or modification or destruction. So anything that can affect this is an attack. But anything that protects this information and information system. In the first class, there was a definition of what information security is and what cybersecurity is. In actual sense, cybersecurity is an aspect of information security, because information comprises of both the informations you have in the library. For instance, you have them on the shelf. I'm sure most of us that school in Nigeria, if you go back to our schools and you need your maybe transcript or whatever, they still have to go through some files, physical files, before they can get your transcript. You understand? These are also information. They are non-digital information. Then also digital information. These are information that are available on the cyberspace. They both need to be protected. So when you are talking of information security, you are talking of the entire security of both electronic and non-electronic security. But when you're talking of cybersecurity, you are talking of electronic information as well as the information systems. The systems, the hardware systems that are used in the process of that electronic information. Now that we know what cybersecurity is all about, and we saw the need for us to actually learn cybersecurity, then we need to understand some cybersecurity controls as it relates to the CIA triad. At this point, let me ask, are we still there? Are we listening to me?
That's all right, yeah.
Okay.
We are listening to you perfectly.
All right.
We are here.
All right. All right. All right. And I hope people are getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, you are listening.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Now, let's look at cybersecurity controls. Now, for confidentiality, what are the security controls that we can put in place to ensure the confidentiality of our information and information system? Now, take the information and information system now as your personal information. Let's take it at that micro level. Your computer, your phone, your email, your social media accounts, and the informations you have in them. How do you ensure confidentiality? Now, the first control is access control. You restrict people that will have access to such sensitive information. You restrict people's access. That is the reason why we do password our systems. Even nowadays, we have multi-factor, we have two-factor authentication, we have multi-factor authentication, we have a token. All of these are meant to protect access or to restrict access to our systems. I'm sure none of us will just leave our banking applications open. Despite the fact that we have password, we still have some pins, some tokens that we'll still have to impute before transactions can take place on our accounts. So this is a form of control with regards to confidentiality. Now, the control can be physical, it can be logical, it can be administrative. When we say physical, for instance, if you look at the bank's vaults are always placed in restricted area. You have different levels of doors. The kind of door they will put there will have a very high or maximum security and the likes. So these are physical controls. For logical controls, that's where we talk of authentication, authorization, we talk of password, you talk of two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, where you talk about biometric, maybe your fingerprints, your iris scan, or voice recognition, all those things. These are all part of the access control, of logical access control. Then administrative, you can designate. Administrative are policies in your organizations, in your own little maybe home. You have some instructions in place. These are no-go area. These are restricted area. These are access to this place is restricted to staff that are working there. These are administrative controls. Then another measure, security measure, control measure that actually takes care of confidentiality of information and information system is encryption. What meant by encryption is the use of mathematical algorithm to transform plain text to ciphertext. Your plain text, like you say, my name is Monsieur. This is a plain text. But you don't want people to see it. You felt this is a very sensitive information. Then you can encrypt it using some mathematical algorithm. There are a lot of mathematical algorithms that are used for encryption. You have the MD5, you have a lot of them, the A3 and the likes. So all of these are mathematical algorithms that can be used to protect, to convert a plain text to a ciphertext. The encrypted text is what is called ciphertext. Now, we also have what we call steganography. Steganography, we all practice this while we were growing up. Maybe while we were in primary school, secondary school, you put alum in water, and then we put a stick or a broomstick, and then use it to write on a plain, maybe on an exercise book. You are not seeing what you are writing. But by the time you put a candlelight under it, I don't know if some of us remember that. By the time you put candlelight, then it begins to show the writing. Ordinarily, while you are writing it, nobody is saying it. You could even write a letter with it and send it to someone. Then the person knows that the thing called Aroko in Yoruba. Apologies to the non-Yoruba speaking people. But what Aroko actually means is they will look for maybe the bark of a tree, or the leaf, or the root. They will bring different things together, tie them together, and say, okay, take it to so person. The moment the person you are taking it to gets it, he understood the meaning of what message has been passed to him. It could also be by shaping somebody's hair, then they will write whatever the message, what we call steganography. Now, steganography enables you to encrypt, to hide your information, such that somebody will pass through that information and you will not even notice that the information is there. So it allows us to hide sensitive information in images, in maybe PDF documents, in even videos. But the downside of steganography is that hackers are using it to actually hide virus. This is a situation where you go online, you see an application that appears to be a useful one, and then you download. The moment you download it, you have already downloaded a virus along with it, but you are not even aware. So they've used steganography here. Now, let me quickly take us through. So this is what we call, these are some of the control measures when it comes to confidentiality. Now, for integrity, there are some things that actually causes the failure of integrity of a part of a system or information system or an information itself. Number one is intentional alteration. You know, we said integrity is that rest. So now, if you intentionally make whether authorized or unauthorized person intentionally changes an information or information system, then the integrity of that system has been affected. Also, user error. Maybe a user that is not properly trained, a cashier, for instance, in a bank, and then she credited it with 100,000 naira. This is an error, a user error, and then you see 100,000 naira in your account. Software or hardware failure. This can also affect your information. Some of us often you go to Computer Village in Lagos or anywhere, you get a flash drive, you save your information there, and then you think it is secure. The moment you take it to another system or you try to open it again, it's an hardware failure. Then also act of nature. Sometimes lightning will strike and then it will affect the information you have saved in a flash drive or in a hard drive, in a hard disk drive. Integrity. Now, the control for integrity is hashing. The first one is hashing. Now, hashing is different. Plain text is converted back to the plain text. In the case of encryption, when you encrypt, you can get the original plain text. You can get it back. But in hashing, the moment you encrypt plain text, but what you do to confirm that that information has changed or not is you get that plain text and then you hash. When you hash it, you compare the hash you have with the one that was sent to you. If it is the same, that means there is integrity. The information has not been changed. But if it is not, it shows that the information has been changed. Now, despite the fact that hashing actually enables us to detect that changes has occurred in an information system, it will not be able to tell us where the changes, the limitation of a hash. Now, the URL I've pasted here that you can use to do hashing. Let me show us this. Let me quickly open this and show us so that we'll understand. Let me add this. Can you see my screen? Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, you can see
Yes,
this.
yes, sir.
Yes, you can see.
All right. All right. So let's say
Yes, you can see slide though, not the.
okay. You are seeing this slide?
Yes.
Let me share this. Sorry. Okay. Can you see this? Hello?
Yes, we can see it.
What are you seeing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a browser. You can see a browser. Okay. Now, this is an example of a tool that you can use to hash, to generate hash or for a plain text. Now, if I say my name is Mansour. I am a man. Now, you see that as I was typing this, it was automatically generating the hash. This is the third one. Now, if I copy this and I send it along with this information to you, The only way you can know whether having a tool like this, and then putting the plain text that I have sent to you, you put it back here, and if it generates the hash that's it is
yes, yes.
Okay. So you discover that the hash has changed. So that we can another thing is digital signature. So digital signature actually originates from hashing. This is where you have an electronic digital certificate that is signed by an authority, a certificate authority, and then you see that sometimes when you load a browser, it will tell you that the certificate is no more is not an authenticated one, an authentic one. So it results from hashing. Then how to verify that a certificate is occurring is the step that I've actually listed here. I'm sure at the end of the lesson, if it is permitted in availability, malicious attackers, they can attack maybe by distributed denial of service or denial of service. So the moment this is done, or they do a kind of ransomware or a spyware or anything malware, you understand, it can cause availability issue. There are also component failure. Fails, and you need to have an information for someone who needs to defend his or her project, maybe a thesis, master's thesis, or whatever. An availability issue because you needed to access the files in it, but unfortunately you couldn't access your files. Is through backup. If you have always done a continuous backup of your email, your hard drive, and some other things, you can easily and quickly recover from the failure. Also, application failure. Sometimes, maybe due to non-patching of your application, it fails, and then you are denied access. Also, we can use to ensure availability of our system is redundancy. You don't rely on just one hard drive. You have one hard drive on your system, and then you have a backup. You don't rely on just one key or one password. That's the essence of having a multi-recovery email and the likes for your accounts, for your social media accounts and the likes. Then also high availability. High availability in the sense that it protects services against single failure. So in this case now, you have, in case of application, for instance, you have an application running on one server, and then it is also running on another server. In case one fails, you quickly fall back to another one. Then also fault tolerance. This protects services against the disruption from small failure. If your system automatically everything crashes. So this protects you against non-availability. And frequent updates of your OS, of your application, even if it is your phone. You see, let me give you an experience, something I experienced while I was working they deployed some systems, and usually the application is usually updated from South Africa. Now, I was at Songwater office branch, Oster Satellite. That was the franchise I was working with then. So I got to the office. I'm used to taking updates for subscriptions and the likes. I just came to the office on that Saturday. I opened the systems and I discovered that it prompted me for an update. So I quickly picked the update. The update was actually taking time, and we've started having customers gathering. So I told them to be patient, and I told my co-workers, you guys have to be patient. Let this update finish, then you can continue. Now, the updates finished, and then we started working. Around 10 in the morning, then the next thing, we started receiving calls. Ikeja, DSTV office in Ikeja, they couldn't make transactions. They couldn't log in. DSTV office in VI, they couldn't log in. Throughout the whole Nigeria, it was only our own offices and one other office in Ilorin, KZ. Those are the two offices that could operate in Nigeria for that day. And what caused it? Because we were able to update our systems, but every other person ignored the update. As a result, they were denied as true. I kept talking about password, this and that. Now let's look at password cracking. One of the most vulnerabilities that we all face in our day-to-day activity is password. Sir.
You need to round up this session because of
hello, sir.
You can begin to round up the session. We have 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Password cracking. Now, it refers to the technique used to recover password from computer systems. So usually, attackers will use password cracking to gain unauthorized access to our system, any system that is vulnerable. You understand? And then most of the time, password cracking techniques are always successful because most of us or some of us will use very easily to guess or weak passwords. Now, passwords like this, the only one that is that can withstand that is complex is the first one here. The only one that is very, very complex is the one with both character, special character, letters, and numbers. And then also even the one here, the longer your password, any password that is less than 12 character is a weak password. You understand? So all these passwords of just ordinary numbers or ordinary letters or whatever, all these are very weak passwords and they are guessable. Then type of password attack, we have non-electronic attacks. These are they are non-electronic because it does not require any technical know-how. Like somebody spying, looking through your shoulder to see the password you are entering, or social engineering. Someone came to you as a familiar, it became familiar with you and then lure you to give out sensitive information. Or don't start diving. You write your password in a sticky note and then you put it on your system. These are non-technical attack. But active online attack, this is where an attacker actually does a direct communication with your machine. Like we have dictionary attack, we have hash injection and the likes. Then we also have what we call passive online attackers. In this case, the attacker does not do any communication with your system, but he uses tools like Wireshark to sniff the network and then gain access to your password, and then he cracks it. Man in the middle attack, replay attack, these are all types of password attack. Also, offline attack. This is a situation where the attacker actually targets a file. He copies the files that comprise of passwords and then went to do some kind of a decryption or cracking to the password. Now, these are other attacks like dictionary attack, brute force use a Trojan or spyware or keyloggers. Keyloggers are devices that look like a flash drive. We also have software that are keyloggers. The moment somebody says, "Oh, sorry, can I plug this flash drive on your system?" and you allowed such a person, you don't know whether it comprises of keylogger. So whatever you are typing, it records the stroke of the keys you are pressing, and from there it can pick your password. Then also the use of default password. This is one of the vulnerabilities that we have. Use of default password. I've listed some sites where you can actually go and check some manufacturer password that they usually use with their systems. Change the password from the default. Don't maintain the default one. So this brings us to the end of this session. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your decorum and your participation. Thank you. So at this point, we may entertain question and answer.
Thank you very much, Engineer
Thank you.
Cousin. Thank you very much. Let's all appreciate Engineer Cousin for that beautiful presentation. Let's appreciate.
Thank you very much, sir.
Let's appreciate. Thank you very much, Mr. Cousin. Let's appreciate. Thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. We've come to the end of the second session. I want to congratulate everybody for this beautiful session from Engineer Cousin. With this, we'll not be able to entertain questions tonight. Let's have our question ready on Sunday. At the exact time, we'll be having the last session and we shall be entertaining question and answer. So for now, we'll be rounding it up for this session. And we shall be meeting up again on the last topic of the awareness program that has to do with certification and job opportunity and salaries and how we can get our self-training. So with this, I want to sincerely appreciate everybody for coming. Until we meet again on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. for the last session for this awareness program. I want to say thank you very much, everybody, for your decorum, for your dedication, for your understanding, for your support to learn. I believe that by Sunday we are rounding up. We'll be kicking off with a training program, which I believe a lot of us here will be interested. Cybersecurity is one of the needs nowadays that is highly needed everywhere, and it's not a local niche or rather a local profession. It's global. What you are learning here is global. Anywhere in the world, you can apply it. Cybersecurity is not local; it's global because we are dealing with data in the space, data in the electronic form, in internet, extranet. So with that, I want to assure you that if you're able to register with us for your training, you can rest assured that we give you the best. So on Sunday, we shall meet again with the rounding up of this program. Till then, I want to sincerely say thank you very much, everybody, for listening to us. We shall entertain questions on Sunday, hopefully, and be able to put you through on how you can get enrolled for this training. It's going to be virtual training. I'm going to tell you the content, the curriculum, and how many months it's going to take you, and we're going to put you through until you're able to write your certification and get your hands on very strong so you can become a cybersecurity. In the couple of some months, I want to see the enthusiasm in us. In 2-3 months' time, we want to be counting ourselves as being lucky to have joined this platform. Thank you very much, everybody. I want to call it a day. See, we meet on Sunday. Let's appreciate everybody. Appreciate. You can unmute your mic to appreciate and say bye-bye to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
I promise to make this recording available to all of us. I promise to make it available to all of us. Just watch out for the recording of this session. Thank you very much for coming.